A very good morning to all of you. So today we will going to discuss classification of boiler. So boiler may be classified as follow on the basis of pressure of steam generated in the boiler, on the basis of relative position of water and hot gases, on the basis of position of the furnace, on the basis of access of the cell, on the basis of number of tubes, on the basis of method of circulation of water and steam, on the basis of use, and last one is on the basis of source of heat. Okay, now according to the pressure of steam, boiler are of two types: low pressure boiler and high pressure boiler. Boilers which generate steam at pressure below 80 bar are known as low pressure boiler. For example, Cochrane boiler, Lancashire boiler and locomotive boiler. And the boiler which generate the steam at pressure 80 bar or more are known as high pressure boiler. For example, Babcock-Wilcox boiler as shown in the figure. Next, according to the relative position of water and hot gases, boilers are of two types: fire tube boiler and water tube boiler. In fire tube boiler, the hot gases are inside the tube and water surround the tube. For example, Cochrane boiler, Lancashire boiler and locomotive boiler. In water tube boiler, water is inside the tube and hot gases surround the tubes. For example, Babcock-Wilcox boiler. Okay. Next, according to the position of the furnace, boilers are of two types: internally fired boiler and externally fired boiler. In the case of internally fired boiler, the furnace is located inside the boiler shell. For example, Cochrane boiler and Lancashire boiler are the internally fired boiler. In the case of externally fired boiler, the furnace is located outside the shell. For example, Babcock-Wilcox boiler. Next. Now, on the basis of access of the shell, boiler are classified into two: vertical boiler and horizontal boiler. If the axis of boiler is vertical, it is known as vertical boiler. For example, Cochrane boiler. If the axis of the boiler is horizontal, boiler is known as the horizontal boiler. For example, Lancashire boiler, locomotive boiler and Babcock-Wilcox boiler. Now, according to the number of tube, boilers are of two types: simple tube boiler or single tube boiler and multi-tube boiler. In single tube boiler, there is only one fire tube or water tube. For example, simple vertical boiler is a single tube boiler. In multi-tube boiler, there are two or more fire tube or water tube. For example, Lancashire boiler, locomotive boiler, Cochrane boiler and Babcock-Wilcox boiler are the multi-tube boiler. Okay friends, so tomorrow I will start tutorials 8 based on boiler numericals. Thank you very much.